This is my 97 Ranger bass boat trailer, and I'm going to attempt to replace the shock on the actuator, the A-60 actuator. Here's a shock that I just bought from Pacific Trailers. It's a direct replacement for the shock. The reason I am replacing the shock is because every time I put the brakes on, I get this big clunk, and it's very annoying. And so I'm going to try to attempt to replace the shock. I thought about replacing the whole thing, but the brakes work fine. They lock up when I put it in reverse without being plugged in to the reverse light wires. So the brakes are fine. Just needs to replace the shock. So I'm going to take this apart. I've done some research, and the reason I'm doing this video is because there's not a lot of videos on this out there. The first thing I did is I removed the cap from the reservoir, and then I jacked up the boat and put a support underneath the axle, and I went back here and untightened this bolt and let out the brake fluid. So this is the farthest point. I'm gonna drain the other side too, but for now I just wanted to get going on the replacement of the shock for the A-60 actuator. I will leave the brakes after I'm done, but for now I need to take this all apart. I've pulled this forward. I got my wire. This is the brake wire. That's been pulled. So first thing I'm gonna do is take these rings off, and then I'm gonna take this little connector for the fluid to the I believe it's the master cylinder, to drain whatever's left in here. I've drained most of it. Okay, I put a strap here to help support this, so when I take the pins out it doesn't fall down. I'm gonna take these rings off first. I won't pull the pin out yet. I'll wait till I disconnect the brake fluid lines. I think I'm going to use that little connection right there and do it at that location. One time I had the brake solenoid replaced, or something replaced back here, and they might have put that connection there. I'm not sure, but that looks like a good place to do it. I mean, I could do it right here at this little piece right there, but there's a connection there for the brake fluid that goes into the reservoir, but I'm going to do it down below where there's a connector. Okay, I got my these are the C-ring pliers. I actually went out and bought a bigger C-ring pliers, a Harbor Freight, because I thought I needed them, but I was able to finally figure out how to put the this piece on that allows it to open up more on the smaller one from Harbor Freight. So I'll do this side first. I will take this out, this ring. Okay, so put that there. Do this side. This side is a little bit rusty. I did spray this with PT Blast a few days ago, so put that there. There's a couple of washers on here. Take that off. Okay, pretty rusty. I'm going to soak these some more with PT Blast. There's the other washer. Oh, that one comes out easy. Okay, so I'm gonna undo the brake line now to disconnect it from the main piece here. Decided to disconnect this one down here at that connector right here. I'm going to push those pins next this way, see if this thing drops. This is disconnected. There is a wire here, and I think I have to disconnect it. I'm not sure. I will find out after. See this wire right here? There's a connector right there. But it looks like it comes from the front. So I don't think, maybe it's this one here, the red one. That's a red one down there. And this is a red one. Goes to the brake. When you put in reverse, these are the reverse wires. And it sends a signal, must send a signal to this thing here to disconnect it. So you can back up. I'm going to hit this pin with a little bit of PT blast. Same with this one. Maybe it'll slide out better. A little bit on the other side here. I didn't take these rings off. I don't think you have to. I'm going to use an old sock. That's the same size as that pin to hit it. See what happens. The back pin is tough to come out. Right now I'm banging it, spraying it with PT blast. I'm out this much, and I gotta continue on banging it using this thing here to hold it while I hit it with a hammer. At this pin, I think it just rusted in. You know, it's coming out, but slowly. I keep using PT blast every few hits. Try to get it out. See all the rust. I don't think the rollers were working. I tried to spin the rollers in there and it didn't seem like they're moving. Oh, something just broke off. I think that connection there just broke off the master cylinder. Oh boy, might have to replace the whole thing. This is hours later, maybe an hour or two, and I've gone this way. Now I'm going back this way because it would not go out this way. See what happens. This is a pain to get that pin out. It's all rusted in. It's almost out. I think I can see the daylight at the end of the tunnel. Oh, I hope so. I'm gonna have to replace the whole thing. Okay, it's out. The pin is finally out. They are both out. What a pain in the butt to get this thing out through there. It's all rusted. You see, it's much thicker than it's supposed to be. I'm going to replace the whole assembly. I'm going to send the shock back and just replace it. I've heated the crap out of it. A torch worked well. I've gone this way, I've gone this way, finally back this way, came out. Thank God. So after the pins are out, I'm going to move this forward. It's starting to slide out. See if I can pull it out. I don't know what's happening with this wire, if it just stays. This is the trailer wires, the lights, and the reverse wire to the reverse light on the car. See, that top part is out. Now I gotta get the inside out. But this is out now. Okay, I just pulled some more out. There's a shock that I'm supposed to be replacing, but like I said, I'm just going to replace the whole thing. Order a new one. I already broke it off the back. This little piece right here came off the master cylinder. I'm just going to replace the whole thing. I'm already $50 into the shock with shipping, so I think we'll see. Here's the whole part. It's out. This wire just stays in there. It's connected to this and the lights. It's a solenoid or something. I don't know if the new one of these comes with it, with that piece. If it does, I'll have to rewire that. But it should be fine. You can see what it looks like inside there. Just in the back, there's just a bolt for the cables, for the breakaway cables, or the cables that get attached to your hitch, so the trailer, you don't lose the trailer. and that's the slot where everything goes in. So you see everything's out. Banged up my trailer a little bit, but not a big deal. This thing's already 20 years old. It's a good boat though, and good trailer. Ranger makes good stuff, there's no doubt. So I'll order one of these, brand new one. I heated the hell out of that, so I'll put a new one in. So I got the new assembly. Came in the mail. I abandoned installing the old one because I beat the heck out of it. So here's the new assembly. I ordered it from Pacific Trailers. The A-60. I think I paid about $180 plus shipping. So it's a nice unit, all ready to go. Here's the bottom of it. It comes with everything. You just gotta hook it up. Okay, here's the new assembly. I want to take off the 2 rings to get these through here, these big large pins through there, and right now I'm just waiting for the PT blast stuff to take effect. I'm going to wipe it down, wipe the stuff through here. It's nice and clean in there. Before I put the new assembly in, I want to clean this up. Some more rag. Off. I had to buy a new one of these, a bigger one, to get that off. They're pretty strong. I had a smaller unit, didn't work, it broke. Then I bought another big unit from Harbor Freight, and that was too big, wouldn't fit in the holes. So this one fits perfect. I bought this at AutoZone. The owner's manual for the A-60 hydraulic brake actuator. I just want to read it before I put this back together, get too far, make sure I'm doing okay. Okay, there's nothing here that is anything special. Most of the actuator assembly instructions have to put the whole thing together. I already have the assembly, I just got to slide it into the trailer. So I'm good to go to put the C-clamps on and attach the wires and the hydraulic brake line on. These things are, I don't have the right pliers. I've gone through 3 sets. There's 2 more. Actually, I'm on my 4th set. And none of them fit just right. Some are too weak to put them on. Some are too big to put them on. I almost have to, would have to take the big ones and grind the points down because they don't fit in those holes. They're just a pain. Okay, the C-clamps are in. So the old solenoid has a ground wire, which is the white wire right there, so with a screw on the bottom. So I have to do the same thing for my new solenoid, put that white wire up there with in a hole. It's getting dark, so I gotta use a light. I'm doing this after work. I gotta put the ground wire from the trailer that hooks up to the car with a screw right up in that hole, and then I gotta attach the blue wire to the trailer, blue wire right here. So I'll do a new connection, get rid of the old solenoid, and have the new one right up there. Okay, there's my brake line. Okay, I made the splice connection between the new wire and the old wire, and I shrink wrap it to make it nice and tight and watertight. Now I'm gonna go put the screw in these washers for the ground wire underneath. I've decided to redo this connector here. This is the ground wire that goes to the solenoid. The old one was all rusty. So I got the wire and the new connector attached to the new solenoid. That ground wire goes to the reverse light ground wire. And then I got the blue wire attached to the positive red right here. So that's all done. So I can start on the brake lines. Everything hooked up here. The brake line, the wiring. And I'm now starting to fill the reservoir with brake fluid and using Prestone brake fluid dot 3, and I am pumping. There's a hole underneath here. You push up on this, you stick your screwdriver in there, and you push the piston that way to pump hydraulic brake fluid to your disc brakes. Both wheels on stands. I'm doing the farthest most wheel. The fluid is getting there now. It's going to take a little bit of time, and then I'm going to do the other side wheel. This is the closest to the tank, the master cylinder. I'm using a small bleeder that I've used on my ATV. It's kind of what I'm used to, so it takes a little bit of time, but I'll get all the air out of it. Piston and just pump. Okay, everything's put back together. So far no leaks from the hydraulic brake line down there at the connection, and over here at the solenoid. I tied the all the wires with a zip tie there. I've put pressure on the tongue, push back. It seems like it's pretty firm. I've put the tires back on the ground, clean up the brakes. So right now I'm ready to go. I'm taking it for a ride in the next couple of days and see how everything's working. Test it out, make sure everything's okay. Hopefully everything's good to go.